All right. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Heyo.
Welcome back. It's me, Daniel, and over there's Adam.
Hey. Hey. You okay? Whew.
No, I'm not.
No, I don't think anybody is.
No. Not for any, political or socioeconomic reason. Yesterday, I decided to be a genius and have a tuna sandwich that had ghost peppers in it.
Well, actually, I heard a bit of that in the call. So, what made you go down this road?
I love spicy food, but
Fair enough.
the next day it just turns my guts into walking inferno.
Speaking of like hot food and just hot shit, do you remember a couple of years ago there was that like weird like chip challenge where it was like a packet of crisps or chips as you call it, where you just eat one of them, you just start sweating bullets.
To be fair, the chip wasn't that bad.
Oh really?
I mean, it was hot, but it didn't taste bad. There's a thing where like you can have something really hot, but it's just gross, right?
Right.
But you can also have something that's really hot that's delicious, like curry, for instance. You can get curry that's really, really hot, but it tastes good.
Okay.
So what kind of expression are we going for on this one?
She's kind of like looking down at her, being like, huh, wasn't that long ago that I found you in the ditch somewhere. It's kind of like really condescending. You could change it a bit, though.
Right.
She's like condescending,
For some reason, my line smoothing was off. Hold on. There we go.
Yeah, this was a page I did. This was a page I sketched a long time ago, so some of these are going to look super rough before we line art it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, I might have to
You can change
sketch this a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, by all means. Like, some of these look like horse shit, so.
It is what it is. I mean, the thing is that, like, it's all storyboarded, though. It's all ready to go, right?
Oh, yeah, but that was my objective, was to get as much as this storyboarded as humanly possible. And we have a lot that's already, like, storyboarded. I just need to create more, really.
I'm still just really happy that we got that RPG book done.
Oh yeah, it's again like you went really. I mean, I wasn't expecting you not to, but like I'm just like, oh my god, like you did really good with this.
Yeah, the art came out pretty good. The one thing that I really wish it did have, and if we ever make more, see the reason why we were thinking for a little bit, we could also make like RPG manuals and stuff like that for modules. So
right.
role-playing games, they would have, the rule sets and where you're going to go and who you're going to fight. It's basically like a storybook for your Dungeons & Dragons game. The issue that we found is the current owners of D&D, Wizards of the Coast, they changed their open gaming license. What it used to be was you can make a module and make money off of it as part of the open gaming license.
Yeah.
And you didn't really have to pay them any royalties, right? They really want to change that, and not for the better. So, and it's up in the air whether or not some of these changes are already in effect.
Yeah, it seems very like vague, and I feel like they might have done that on purpose.
Yeah, so if we do make like adventure modules and stuff like that, there's a good possibility that we would either have to create our own gaming system, which I mean wouldn't be terrible. It wouldn't be balanced because we're not professionals.
I mean, it's an idea. I mean, obviously, the first thing we need to do, well, the main objective is to like get the first book out.
Yeah, make the comic. But just as an aside thing.
Yeah.
It's like how we're recording our process here.
Yeah. So you're getting it regardless.
Well, no, it's just additional content while you're waiting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, I've been really happy. It's Saturday as we record this, and my holiday, off work's pretty much done technically. But I had fun with it. I had fun. Yeah. I just know for a fact there's going to be those people when I go back to work, be like, "Oh, it goes by so fast." Like, well, only if you don't do anything. You know, it's say I had fun with my time off, so you know, it
I don't
goes
know.
by so fast. It's like, no, not really. You just got to make the most of it in the time period. If anything, it felt long to me.
Time off is me just not working because I work at home.
Pretty much,
I
yeah.
basically do whatever I want. And oh man, like I looked at my like PayPal where the store is attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That's like passive income. Like,
Pretty much, yeah.
oh yeah, because I looked in there. I was like, wow, there's a lot more money in there than I thought there was.
With me personally, because I'm not like on the level where you are. But one thing that is kind of reassuring is like the ventures that I have outside of this too. Like I'm getting like followers every day, you know,
It's
even
good.
when I'm not uploading stuff.
I mean,
So
we're working on a lot of stuff. Like the fact that we're actually like putting our nose to the grindstone and working on this. It
oh yeah, totally.
I'm pretty sure we've talked about it before. Here's the thing: if you want to do stuff and you want to if you want to change your life to where you want to work for yourself and create things, just
Yeah.
do it. Just start.
There's
Because
really no yeah.
just start and actually finish things. And you will put yourself above 90% of other people because most people that like for instance, do you know how many conversations I had where I'm like, "Oh yeah, like look at this art that I'm working on." Yeah, man, so I can't even draw a straight line, so I'm not even going to care about that. It's like the level of self-inflicted ignorance.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think
he could at least care to look at the images that I made. But the fact that not only does he not care about the images that I made, he also just completely dismisses the art form in general.
oh, yeah. I mean, I just feel like that's just a lazy person as well. So
That is what it is.
you know what's that? You know, it's becoming a bit of a pet peeve of mine, and I know that people aren't entitled to actually do this, but like, I swear there's like almost no etiquette when it comes to like Discord calls because the amount of times I'll join a call and you stream your thing and no one will click on it, you know?
Yeah.
And, and again, they don't have to. They don't have to watch, but I, at the bare minimum, at least have a look at something, and then afterwards I determine whether or not I'm gonna, follow. Like if someone's playing World of Warcraft,
For,
I'll be like,
for people
okay,
that are unaware of what we're talking about, real quick. So, in Discord, it's kind of like Skype or like a telephoning service on the computer. You have the ability to share what you're doing on your screen to everybody in the room, right? That's
yeah.
streaming to everybody in the room. It costs nothing to just open up somebody's stream to see what they're doing and just have it on in the background. It costs absolutely nothing to do that. In fact, etiquette wise, if somebody's streaming, it would be very polite to see what they're doing. So that way, you can engage with them and talk about, whatever. Even if you don't care, just turn it on, really.
Yeah,
We're talking
have a
about
nose.
people who kind of almost demand to like I want you to see what I'm doing, but I'm not going to care about what you're doing. And it's kind of like
Sometimes have to.
it kind of like leaves a really sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah, like here's like I will like put everyone's stream on, and sometimes there might be something I don't care. Like there's only ever one time when I turned a stream on and turned it off. I was like, oh, let's see what you're doing. Oh, World of Warcraft. Okay, then no, I'm good. Like that's about it. That's the only time I ever did that. But by and large, yeah, I make an effort to look. It's like
Turn it on at least once to see what's happening on it.
yeah, and
That's
and
fair, right?
yeah. There's also another one which I'm noticing a lot more now. This one is a bit forgiving if it's people playing on console because there's just really no way to stream console games on Discord. But have you ever been in a call where people are like playing a video game and you can't even see what they're playing, and it's like, oh my god, like they can't see like reacting to the game, but you can't see, and it just dominates the
Yes.
conversation.
Yeah, those are calls that I quit now. I used to. So here's the problem, and this is what I realized. Typically, whenever I see like because I want to get into a conversation to get like motivated to do stuff, right? So I'll go on Discord, I'll see like a group of people fucking chatting, and I see that, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna join that to see what's up, and maybe I could just listen in or like talk or whatever, and then 9 times out of 10, I'll either join in on people shouting at a video game that none of them are streaming because they're all playing it. So I don't even know what they're screaming at. 2, absolute silence. And then when I start a conversation, that's when they start talking about the video game they're playing. So it'll be like this. Boom, boom. Hey, what's up, guys? What are you doing? Yeah, hold on. We're doing a thing.
But yeah, that's the worst. Yeah, it's becoming like. I mean, I wonder if it's worth talking about the bingo card we made, but
the ignorant person on Discord bingo card.
The bingo card. We'll try. Probably won't get too into it, but let's just say we created a bingo card where the premise of it is if you get like about 4 or 5, but basically if you get a bingo on the card, you just leave the call.
Yeah.
So it'll be like a guy trying to like be political on a topic that's like just dead, or the guy who's like the no fun police.
The guy
Sonic.
who, somebody brings up Sonic the Hedgehog and then decides to talk about it for like 2 hours without anybody actually wanting to talk about that.
It's like stuff like that, which it might make us sound bad, but at the same time, like try sitting through those calls and then come back to us and tell us.
It's a thing that I realized too. Some of those annoying people, like everybody just doesn't want to start like an argument in the call because nobody really wants to like be that awkward guy that like makes somebody. But I talked to another guy about a dude that's really annoying in a group, and he's like, I'm so glad I'm not the only one that finds that fucking guy annoying. And I'm like, maybe if we all just got together and said, hey, shut up.
Yeah, there was God.
There's a few guys that are like that, and it's like, but because you don't really know how that person got into a massive group of people. Like, you could be the best friends of the guy that runs the thing for all you know. So you're kind of just like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna let you keep talking. Yep. And then eventually everyone like in private is just like, wait, nobody likes this guy and nobody's really his friend? Oh, then why do we have him around? Well, nobody talked about it.
Yeah, there's just that like realization. But God, there was we could talk about Discord bullshit all day. Like,
oh yeah.
There's also the guy where you might try and watch a film and he doesn't like read the room. It's like the theater etiquette, It's like shut up,
Oh yeah, okay. So like if a group of people are like, hey, let's just like chill and watch a movie together and maybe like laugh at the movie, and you have a specific chat room that you join to watch said movie, and then a guy joins that chat room and just starts talking, yapping. Yeah. You're just like, yo, dude, like we're watching a movie? Yeah, hold on. And you're just like,
yep. There was only ever one time. So, I typically be like, hey, dude, listen, we're watching a film. Like, if you can, just keep your mouth shut kind of thing. There was one time where, and, it might make me sound bad, but like everyone was on the same page, really. We were trying to watch Smiling Friends, and a guy joined, and he didn't get the hint we were trying to watch something, because one of the people in the call was like the head honcho who also actually wanted to watch the show, because it was brand new at the time. And this guy kept talking and talking and talking. And I just bluntly said, shut the fuck up, man. No one cares. Like, I was like so tired, and like everyone was like, yeah, finally someone said it. So like I wasn't like in the wrong, Yeah,
you just well, reading the room goes 2 ways, right?
Yeah.
If people are just allowing a dude to like get away with bloody murder in a conversation, you're kind of like, okay, well, I'm reading the room. Clearly, this guy's important. Or if you read the room and everyone is just about as uncomfortable as you are, you just kind of go, hey, can we all just take a moment and get on the same page here? This guy sucks, right?
Yeah. And then everyone's like, yeah, this guy's really fucking annoying.
Oh, God. See, and really in Discord calls, there's really no consequence to just say, hey, for some reason, we're just like afraid of like causing conflict. When in reality, you're just like, because if you did this at a job, yeah, you could get in trouble because it's a workplace, right? But this is just like casual conversations with a lot of random people.
It's really, yeah, and oh, and I have another pet peeve. Can we just make this just like the pet peeve like episode about Discord? Because this, I got at least one more, and this one actually like boils my like makes my piss like boil.
I will say, I will say one thing before you do that.
Yeah,
Like, if you do any of these things, just realize that what you're doing comes off as dickish, and stop.
Yeah. Just think for a second. I mean, to quote,
have a little
Hunni Man, think.
Have a little bit of empathy. Realize what you're doing and be like, "Oh, I'm a dick." Okay.
Yeah, but this is the last one, and this one is like this one's a bit of a weird like management one. Have you ever been in like a Discord call where you want to talk to a moderator because you're like unsure about something, and then you send a DM and it's like, oh yeah, no, sorry, they got their DMs closed. It's just like, why are you a moderator when I can't talk to you? You are useless to me, you know. So
why are you the rules, the guy who dispenses the rules when nobody can talk to you? Maybe that's the reason why a lot of conversations in this call, like this server, are terrible, because the guy in charge of the rules doesn't enforce the rules.
He doesn't enforce the rules. You can't communicate, and oh man, and there was another server too. And this is to me, in my opinion, this is just as weird. I was in a server, and you know, it was kind of a YouTuber server, so I'm not kind of surprised. But there was a server where the entire server, like I hadn't looked at the server for a long time, and then I posted something, and immediately had like a bot reacted to it, and I was like, "What the fuck's happening in this server?" The entire server was like riddled with bots. It was like bots of like fictional characters, and what happened was I sent a, you know, luckily somehow I was actually able to like communicate with a moderator, and I was like, hey, I just got this like bot thing react to me, and I just realized the whole server's filled with bots. Is this just the norm now? And I shit you not, this guy was like, oh, I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea. I haven't even looked at the server. It's like, but you're a moderator. It's like, yeah, no, even though I'm a moderator, I don't follow what's happening. It's like, so you're kind of useless then, to an extent.
You're just not actually a moderator. You're just there with a tag on your name.
Yeah, I genuinely think that's what it was. And even when I was like talking to the guy, I was like, so you're telling me you're a moderator, which is technically like, you know, just underneath the actual creator, arguably, and you don't know what's happening. And then on top, and then it got to a point where I was just looking at this server, and this server, it honestly just struck me as like a server that might be made by like some like weird Russian hacker. It kind of had that vibe to it, you know. And I was just like, I just said to the guy, it's like, you know what, no, fuck this, I'm leaving. And he didn't even say anything back to me. So.
You know, while we're on this subject matter, while we're on this cute little subject matter, how annoying is it when the only time people actually join a call is when the server creator is there?
Oh, the head honcho,
and then
yeah.
The head honcho is there, and everyone joins the call, to the point where you can't even hear someone talk. Like, everyone is talking over each other. Yeah. Everyone is talking over each other. So it's like everyone joins, so that way no one is heard. At some point, after like the 4th or 5th time this happens, people should realize that this is not the way to go, right?
It's complete pandemonium, yeah.
Yeah. A reference to Paradise Lost. Ooh.
Yeah,
that's actually where the word demons come from.
No shit.
Yeah, type out pandemonium, and then look in the center of it, because the people who live in pandemonium are demons.
Pandemonium.
Demon.
I even know how to spell it, so. Pandemonium. Oh, there it is. Oh, demon.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, just in the center of the word. Yep.
Yeah. That's crazy. Is this the thing with like the big circle thing? Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a fucking sphere in the center of it that fucking
Yeah.
Satan sits on. It looks rad.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Some of the best Christian literature, honestly, comes from outside sources,
Kind of does, honestly.
like the depictions of hell or the Paradiso and Purgatorio from Dante, or the just any actual information on what the devil is and what his actual motivations are. All of that comes from Paradise Lost. And you know what? That book has a sequel called Paradise Regained.
Oh, okay. When was this? When was this out?
Oh god, 1600s, late
Oh,
1500s,
of course,
1600s. Guy who wrote it
Yeah.
almost got killed by the church, but then they were like, "Nah, it's okay."
Sounds about right, honestly. Oh, I need to put up some references of Hunni. I'm getting a hair a bit weird.
I'm not a religious man, but I like reading a lot of the stuff because it's where culture comes from.
You know, I had probably the funniest take on religion, at least like Christianity, which was I was watching another Counter Monkey video from Spoonie, and it was one where he was on stage talking about like a tabletop thing, and it was one that was actually based on like the Bible. But what was funny was like
That they statted Jesus.
they studied Jesus, and it was
Yeah.
just like it was like now that I think about it, a lot of this like Bible stuff will actually make a badass like module.
Dude, they statted Jesus, and I think they also statted Moses.
Oh yeah, Moses got stats.
Yeah, yeah, they statted Moses, and you're like, So, it like in this like role playing game, you could conceivably fight Moses.
That's cool.
That's really dumb.
I like to imagine he has,
Also,
like,
that's
a
probably
version-
and at first you'd be like, "Oh, this is really blasphemous," and until you realize that the people that made the RPG to begin with were Christian, like, it's like
Yeah.
super Christians. Like they wanted to make an RPG so that people learned more about God. The only downside is just that they gamified Jesus.
Oh yeah. So and some people are a bit like kind of against that. So
It depends. It depends on the sect.
Yeah.
Christianity. Like there's like, and you know what? I'm not. It's one of those things where it's really difficult for me to tippy toe around it. So I just don't
Yeah.
try. The biggest thing is just like try not to bring it up, or if you do bring it up, it needs to be like a relatively good grievance.
I mean, we're not making fun of it. So let's make that abundantly clear. We're not making fun of it or anything.
Oh no, I read a lot of the scriptures more than most people do. It's like I have an understanding of it, and I understand how important it is to culture. I just don't believe in it. And you know what? That's more than you can say than most people, because I feel like a lot of people just don't read.
Oh no one can read. No one can read anymore.
Not only that, like big sentences. That's why almost every single video that gets 1 million views is like, he said what? You don't even know who he is or what he possibly even said.
Oh yeah, I mean, to me, it's the type of people where they'll see a video title being like, "This is the greatest. This is despicable." Like it's so vague, and then you have to actually click on the video. And chances are you're probably not even gonna like make it halfway through.
Or Joe Rogan destroys man on left, and then you watch the video, and 90% of it is him waffling about creatine or something. He's like, I take creatine so that way I got them muscles, and you're just like, so at what point during this conversation does he destroy the left?
Do you want to know what the earliest version of that was? When it was like where the title of the video and the actual video weren't even connected. Back in 2012, do you remember the Mass Effect games?
Yeah.
There was a video that was titled, "Is Justin Bieber going to be in Mass Effect 3?" As like a character, like a voice actor. I clicked on the video. It was IGN, and IGN are also kind of shit. But like, they did not mention it whatsoever in the video, and I was like, is this horse shit? Because this was like the only video that mentioned it, and that's like the earliest version of when I realized, oh, people can just lie about shit, and you click on it because clickbait.
Yeah, as long as they get the clicks. they get the
Yeah.
money. That's like another. Oh God, no! It goes even older than that on especially on YouTube. So this is gonna show how old we are, or
Yeah.
at least how old my brain is. There was a period of YouTube where you can respond to videos with other videos.
Yeah, go on, go on. I know what
Yeah.
this is.
So what what it was supposed to be is like, let's say that I make a video talking about something political, or I make a video talking about a movie, and then you could make a video talking about my video, and that would be a comment. So people could scroll down on a video that's popular, right? And then look at other things that are talking about that video. So basically, it's like in the guts of original YouTube was the idea of reacting to other people's content, right?
Yes.
Here's the problem with that, though. It went just about as well as React content goes right now, because some women with extraordinarily low-cut t-shirts
Yeah. Yeah.
reacted to literally every video, and it was like scientifically the length that it needed to be in order for it to get views.
Yeah, there was one girl in particular who was the biggest offender of that, and
Yeah.
there's a really funny like Zach Idle video that takes the piss out of
There's
that.
a
because
there's a
this
cartoon
girl-
that makes fun of it, and now most people don't even know what that video is about.
Oh yeah, like God, it's really funny too because she was almost like when you see someone and there's like a physical trait of their like appearance that you just kind of remember. So this girl had like 3 moles on her right tit, and so the Zach Idle video is the guy like being all nerdy like, yeah, and then he sees the moles like, like screaming of
Melts
absolute
off,
terror.
yeah.
Yeah. I just remember, like, every time I think about that, I just think of, like, the 3-mole tit, so... Which sounds like a fucking D&D monster.
But that's not. But like, whenever people are like, "Oh, it's so much worse than it used to be," no, all of these problems existed. It just wasn't as cool back then.
It was either wasn't as cool, or it was, like, just a different form,
Yeah, no, it's all of everything is like everything has any possible conversation you could have had existed back then. Like, fantastic example. There is a letter that people found from like the Roman era, and it describes like a father saying that the younger generation has it too easy, and I'm just really concerned about what my son's gonna do. And you hear that and you're like, man, that could have been written yesterday.
Yeah, like, it is quite literally that saying, like, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
I mean, yeah, like, no matter how much technology or like political opinion changes, at the end of the day, we're all just humans.
Oh yeah, and
The funniest one to me,
Don't
too,
do
is
that.
when...
That was gross.
Oh, sorry, I was drinking beer. I was like talking in that,
Disgusting.
It did sound like I was going, so...
Yeah, no, don't do that. You fucking
Yeah,
sicko.
that's gonna get clipped out of context. To the 8 people that watch us.
Yeah, joke's on you. Like, this will be the one that makes us famous.
Can you? Oh God, can you imagine? Like that's how that works sometimes. Where it's like God. Another example of that is guys like
you've heard of Leave Britney Alone guy, and you've heard of Hawk to a Girl. Now you hear, now here comes Beer to Mouth guy.
oh, hey, what's going on, everyone?
That's shit.
I'm Mouth the Beer.
Now you see the problem is that you tried too hard, and it wasn't a video that got like shared on Reddit.
Yeah. The funniest thing to me when you talk about like trying with actual stuff and the one that gets famous. Now this is kind of like a topical thing, and funny enough, it's about like React kind of content and clickbaited. I remember Meg64, that group I've probably mentioned like every episode now. One of their popular videos was when they absolutely shat on the Fine Brothers when they were doing that React bullshit. And because that was topical, that's like one of their most popular videos. But it's like the lowest effort video they ever did, which, you know what, it's actually kind of fitting because the Fine Brothers have like no effort in their shit.
To be fair, Wait, whose hand is this in the bottom?
Oh, that's the dwarf. She's like saying, wait. Because at the bottom, she's like, yeah, she's right. Because if you look at the bottom panel, she's like,
Oh, okay, hold on.
yeah,
If we're gonna do
yeah.
that, I need to change this a little bit. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
definitely tell this is an older sketch
This was
page.
this was before I started like making notes of who the hell everybody was. So
No, and not only that, like just the posing in general needs some.
yeah, this is this is the this is the reason why I switched to DAS, because these CSP models are just really fucking awkward to like set up. Which sounds like an excuse, but you know what?
Because instead of putting her hand there, I would put her fucking like head here, like the back of her
okay.
head.
Oh, that would actually be better. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, and I
No,
would
she's
have,
like, wait. Yeah. Oh God. Despite the fact the sun's not shining today over here, it's like so hot.
humid. It's humid as hell over here. I had to turn the fans on because this house is starting to. Oh, we had the summer solstice yesterday.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Yep, it was definitely the longest day of the year,
Yeah.
and it's all going to start getting shorter from here. So that's fun. And then eventually we'll get the time change, and then everyone's schedule will be screwed up.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't seem to understand how England works. It's rude to eat soup with a fork. It's also disgusting to drink tea out of a regular glass. It's just you don't understand, Taco. It's just not done.
Dude, like the oh God, you reminded me.
You
I
bastard.
feel like
No one. That's the fucked up thing too. Nobody really talks like that anymore in your country.
oh no chance. If anything, if you spoke like that, you get like probably the shit kicked out of you. So
Honestly, I think more people would just be confused and thinking that like I'm not from there.
yeah.
Because like even your like really posh rich people sound more waffly than that. They're like think of the like
The
that
the one.
that like by Jove, old bean, like that's gone. That's like
Oh yeah, like it's not even a thing. Another one that gets me too is people have this like thing in their head that like J.R. Token or whatever his name is, J.R. Token like speaks posh. It's like, no, he doesn't. No, he does not. It's just like how is it again?
dude, he was like an American, like no, not American. He was like an English teacher for like a university, and he's like, I'm going over the summer. I saw a giant tree, and I was wondering like if there was leaves on the tree, and you're like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, if you wanna hear British people that have like really weird accents and dialects, there's a guy who is like not popular in America whatsoever called Fred Dimner. He's dead now. He's been dead for a long time, but he was famous for two things, which was him having like a hard on for like tractor engines. But his most popular thing was that he was what's called a steeplejack. Did you know what those are?
No.
A steeplejack is a person that climbs up really tall buildings like towers and just like knocks the bricks off one by one. So it's like basically half a year.
Oh, he just
of
like
you.
he just gets rid of steeples.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Like the little
But it's-
towers on top of churches and shit.
Oh yeah, but this guy, the way he talks, even I have trouble understanding to an extent. Because like, you know, it can't be replicated. It's like, you know, I go up the steeplejack and I get paid £5,000, and that'll keep me going for about 3 or 4 months. And it's just the way he talks. Like it's, I remember showing it to Americans. It's like I have no idea what this like weirdo's saying. So.
Yeah,
You looking him up?
Well, no, I just wanted to look because if you think about like a lot of like inventions and like writings and poetry and like all of that stuff, there's a good majority of stuff that's written by like Scotsmen.
Yeah.
Like there's some really beautiful stuff written by Scotsmen,
Mm-hmm.
but it's written so you can like read it.
Yes.
But the moment that they start saying it out loud, It's kind of like the difference between like Ozzy Osbourne talking and singing.
Oh God.
Sharon, and then you're like crazy train.
The one that gets me is there's a video called "Are You Sober Now?" where it's an interview. It's like, "So are you sober now?" And his response like, "Hey, yeah."
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
God,
seen that one where he like waffles a little bit and then he just goes, no.
No. That God, he's
Meanwhile,
getting on his knees now.
and they asked them that while he's making like a margarita with like a blender.
I think that's a different video, but there's plenty of clips of him trying to like use the blender.
That's so funny.
There's one where you can tell he just doesn't give a shit to the point where the thing starts smoking. I think like the fire alarm goes off.
Oh, dude, there are so many like David Bowie interviews because he hated doing interviews, and like there's a good period where he was on like hard drugs. So
Of course.
there's some David Bowie interviews where he just fucks with the interviewers. And it's really funny, and some of them are like hilariously uncomfortable.
Oh no. God, there was a guy a long time ago. This is one of those videos that's probably been like lost to the internet because I just don't know who it was, and even then it probably isn't online anymore. I remember seeing an interview of someone where the guy like did not give a shit about the interview, and as he's talking, he's just playing on a DS. And I just could not tell you who it was. No idea. And then of course, you got Johnny Rotten, where he's just like, a punk, so he just fucks with everyone, no matter what.
Oh, don't call him that though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like if you call him a punk, you'll tell him to go fuck yourself. Yeah.
Which to be fair,
That's what a punk would do.
that's
That's pretty punk.
it's perfect. It's perfect.
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 Yeah. God, I'm sweaty, sketty bitch today. Fucking hell.
Squetty bitch.
Sweaty bitch. Yeah. Well, if the comic doesn't take off, our charming personalities will.
I don't know. You say a lot of things. Most people would be like, this is fucking rubbish. It is.
Yeah. I remember not naming names.
Podcasts don't go anywhere. So, anyways, here's like 50 podcasts that have changed the course of humanity. All right, bye.
Don't name me names, but someone in my private life was like, I was listening to your podcast. You're swearing a lot. You want to try and sound professional while you're just swearing all the time and even burping? I'm like,
I don't want people to get the idea that this is a Disney cartoon.
Well, it's that, but I said to them, I was like, I do understand your concern, but at the same time, the bar, and no offense to anyone else that does podcasts, but the bar is so low in terms of like entertainment now.
Well, I mean, no. It's because like podcasting in general. I'm not going to get really heady about it. Podcasts in general are free floating conversation pieces.
Yeah.
And when you actually have something to talk about, like we don't have a lot of dead air, and we don't have a lot of like music that's like filling that dead air. We're also not bombarding people with ads.
Yeah, I mean, we're not like we could anyway. So
I mean, we could get a sponsorship, but like, that means we would have to be like, the Uncle Tom's butt nutter, the nut butter. Oh, you got the like something stupid like that. But I think that this isn't a new concept, right? Because basically all it really is like XM radio.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cable of radio.
Yeah.
Where kind of like the Opie and Anthony show, like any of those like any of those like radio shows where people like swore and stuff, like the pay-per-view radio. This shit has existed for a really long time. It's just it was something else back then, and not a lot of people could do it.
Yeah. God. Since you had your radio, I love the parodies you get in like GTA and Saints Row. Because the things they talk about on those radios are so funny. Like, I like in Saints Row 2, which I've been playing a lot recently. If you listen to like the heavy metal radio, it's like, hey, you like pop music? Do 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 do. Hey, go fuck yourself. It's just like it's the snap, just like go fuck yourself.
God, there was a. It's a Vampire of the Masquerade. I think it's Vampire of the Masquerade Bloodlines. Blood ties, bloodlines.
Yeah.
It's an RPG game. It's first person. When you fight, you go into third person. Sometimes, not always.
Oh, I might have heard of this. Yeah,
So-
go on.
There is a sub race of vampire that you can be that are just gibbering insane people. And if you
Yeah.
select that, sometimes your radio just talks to you.
Oh no! So you're
So-
having hallucinations?
Yeah, you just have constant hallucinations. Yeah.
Oh god.
Which is real, because it'll just be like, yes, you can go and you can buy yourself one of these fine products at your local. Put the cat in the put the cat in the blender. Put the cat in the blender. You're just like, what? And you're
That's-
like, and then the radio will be like, yeah, no, don't worry about it, Chief. You're just hallucinating. So, anyways,
I love the idea. That's it kind of reminds me of that Steve-O thing where like the idea that your hallucinations are like trying to keep an eye out for you.
yeah. There's also like oh god, that game is like the concept of the RPG is really cool. It's just the way that you actually play the RPG in real life is really cringe because it's LARPing.
Oh no.
Yeah, you actually go to a physical place and stand in front of people dressed up as like vampires, and you fucking like do rock paper scissors or something. In order,
Yeah.
it's a little that's a little cringe, but like the actual like the meat and potatoes of it is fun.
I've never done LARP in real life. It feels like one of those things I can never quite commit myself to. But then again, I don't have a group, so maybe it's a different kettle of fish.
A different kettle.
But yeah, I saw a couple of films recently since to talk about. I saw a film called Black Knight from like 2001, and definitely
the Martin Lawrence movie.
Yeah, where it's based. I mean, it is literally just like black guy goes to like old jolly old England in medieval times.
It's an isekai movie from 2000.
Yeah, 2001. Yeah, and it was okay. I mean, you kind of know what you're getting into when you click on a film like that.
It is of its time.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much a product of its time. And then after that, I watched a film called Hansel and Gretel: Witch Hunters, and it's made by a crazy Norwegian guy who's famous for doing things like Dead Snow and just recently Violent Night, which is like a Christmas film. And it's
probably
daft.
it's probably his highest budget movie.
Well, despite getting negative reviews, it grossed so much goddamn money. Like I think it made like 7 times the budget. So
That had the lady from Twilight in it and Jeremy Renner,
yeah.
but like a really young Jeremy Renner, which is goofy.
Mm.
Who played
Can I just say-
who played the evil? Who played the witch? Who's the bad guy in that?
I could look it up. Hold on, Hansel and Gretel. I got it for you. The main witch, an evil, Famke Janssen, like a Dutch actress.
Hansel and Gretel. What was it? Vampire Killer? What?
Witch Hunters.
All of these movies blend together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say real quick?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, fucking Famke Janssen. You know who that is?
Who?
That's the squeezy lady from GoldenEye.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. Oh god, what's her name? It's not Ivana Spankov.
Z-
What was her name? It was something
Xena.
stupid like that.
I've got it right here. It's Xena on top. On the
Oh yeah,
top.
Xenia on a top,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
it's
Can I just say real quick?
dumb.
The director of those films, the Dead Snow, what have you, has quite possibly the best Wikipedia picture I've ever seen. I'm gonna send it, so that way you can react to it. Yeah, you can't even. You can't even see his face. I don't know why. I don't know why that's
Gonna
his
do
thing.
that. There we go. That's great. That I
just-
guarantee you that's on purpose.
Oh, 100%. But the funny thing is, it's like it's been like that for at least a year. So
Oh God, that's awesome. That's actually a really awesome Wikipedia image.
yeah.
Oh God.
Speaking of Wikipedia, since people can edit it, I got told that there was a guy where what he did, he kept secretly changing the map of Estonia so that way it would get slightly bigger every time he edited it. And then eventually somebody caught on. Yeah.
There was a massive debate on whether or not the image of a cow was actually a cow
Oh.
of like a specific type. Because there's like, this is a dairy cow, but then the image, like some people were like, that's not technically a dairy cow, and other people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? That is a dairy cow. What? You'd be pedantic, and like, there was a massive, massive argument on Wikipedia about the state of affairs of this image of a cow.
Wait. That's like there are certain like internet things where it's like, I'm just like, does this actually matter? It's like
Oh no, not
it's
at all.
like yeah. It's like that one about a dress where it was like, is this dress blue or purple? I can't tell. It's like, oh, are we really wasting our lives debating this?
Well, that was a psyop. That was just seeing how many people are stupid. Because all that was designed to do was to create arguments. That didn't actually work. It's like it's like telling people that there's a ghost in a house. If you let people in an old creepy house without saying it and just like just witness this house and see how you would renovate it, people would be like, opening drawers, cupboards. They'd be like, oh man, this there's a lot of like space that we could use to like fix this. If you took like the same amount of people with the same headspace and we're just like, yeah, so this house is haunted, and then you let them in there, they're going to act ridiculously different, and all you did was change the parameters vocally.
Yeah, like for some odd reason, that's like, what that is to me. That's not too different when you have like people trying to like interpret art, but then you go really weird with it, where it's like a guy dropped his glove on the floor at an art museum, and everyone's like, oh, "What could this mean? What could this mean?" It's like, "Oh shit, there's my glove."
Or like, they're like, the director of this movie is a genius because like in this moment, like the entire time he was wearing the glove, and that was like a symbol of his fucking power and like his grasp on the people. And then the moment that he dropped his glove in this scene, and then you ask the actor, yeah, dog, I just dropped the glove. Like,
oh, I've got something for you to look up. This is something everyone can look up in their spare time because it's fucking funny. There are documentaries of people analyzing The Shining, and it's like it's bullshit.
There's the one that starts off as a documentary about The Shining, but then the actual documentary is about how they think that the moon landing was faked. But
yes,
in none of the promotional material do they say that it's about a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's just gobbledygook bullshit. And there was one, oh man, this has been deleted, by the way. It's not online anymore. There was one documentary where you could just tell it was like probably some fat guy at his computer just like talking over it. I shit you not. There's a bit where the guy, so he's talking, right? He's talking about the film. And then all of a sudden you hear like a baby crying, and it's like, wait, so in this scene you see, wait a minute, what's that? Oh, sorry everyone, my baby's crying. I need to go sort that out. The documentary pauses to like just like dead air, and like you hear him like deal with his baby, and then he comes back like, okay then. So as I was saying about Stanley Kubrick, it's like
they didn't cut that out. You could have just cut that out.
It didn't edit it out.
If anything, it's just comedic. It's a comedic beat.
Yeah.
It would have been really cool if they CGI'd like an alien on a shelf or something, and then just put like a really big like a violin.
Yeah. Oh, quick question: have you drawn a face as if she's in pain?
No.
Oh, okay then. Because it almost looks like one of her eyes is closed.
Well, yeah, she's almost about to get punched.
Well, she's not about to get punched there. Like Dawn was about to. Wait, what's her name? No, Bethany. No, Bethany was going to punch the elf girl, and then Okay, no. If you look at the next page, she's not going to get punched. The dwarf. She's like just looking up at her with like a sad face, just being like, "Yeah, she's right," kind of thing. In fact, actually, you know what? I'll just send you the next page.
She's angry at the elf, not.
Yeah, because at this bit, she's like, "Hey, leave that dwarf alone," you know.
Hey, elf girl,
teacher,
leave that dwarf alone. All in all, we're just another pawn in a gorm.
Let me find the next page for you so you can see what I'm on about. Wow, I did a lot of pages.
Actually, you know what? No, what we do is if it's gonna be like that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna send you this. Yes, because she's like, huh? Yes, there you go.
Yeah, no, I fucked up, and it's like,
no, she's right. Yeah. Yeah, because she's like, yeah, you're right. No, she's right. So yeah, she's not gonna like get hit. The dwarf.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
All right then.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm sending you the next page so you can see what I'm on about.
Psycho killer.
It's one of the reasons why we're doing this. Why we're we're going over everything.
Yeah.
But I might need a towel. I'm like actually sweating proper hard.
I mean, it's almost like all of these pages were kind of like sketched months ago.
Mm-hmm. You know, people get to see the creative process where you have to like constantly go back and forth and reassure each other. Because that happens a lot in like media where like there might be like a slight miscommunication and it'd be like, it's like, did you know that the only reason why Lex Luthor is bald is because an artist made a mistake?
Did you know when they were making Spider-Man comics, the artist and the writer, so the artist was like very right-wing traditional like American guy, and Stan Lee was the writer, and the way that they like produced so many comic books so quickly is the artist would just make all of the art and then Stan Lee after the fact would put all of the dialogue in. So
the Marvel method.
So one of the funniest parts of that was the artist had Spider-Man shaking his fists at some like hippies being like, go back, like go get a job. But then, Stan Lee wrote, yeah, man, fight the power, like as if he's like air fist bumping.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
God, that's awesome.
That's
like when you that's like when you take a Disney film and you make a YouTube poop out of it and you just completely change the narrative.
Some of those YouTube poops have like ruined the watching experience of some of those movies.
Oh yeah, like I can't watch Hercules anymore without thinking of
Baby, you mean Fuckules?
Honey, you mean Hercules? And then like my boy, my little Hercules.
Honey, you mean Hercules? There was a nest wherever you stepped. It's so bad. And you know what? Absolutely no one above our age is going to understand what the hell a YouTube poop is.
It's kind of like it's not necessarily like a dead format, but it's not as common. It's not as popular as it used to be.
Oh, copyright strikes like killed the YouTube poop. It's on and off too, because there'll be times where like they're really relaxed on copyright, and then some musical artist will kick the hornet's nest, and then the copyright stuff on YouTube will start all over again.
Yeah,
it's just a big pain in the butt.
There was a rare example of like something got uploaded somewhere, and then the creator didn't want to do anything, but the studio did it. There was a film that came out. I couldn't tell you what film it was because this is going back like 5 years. But some mad lad was like had the idea to upload the entire film to Pornhub of all places, and the creator, like the studio, took it down, and the creator was like, "Oh, are you serious? That was actually really funny. Should have I wish it was kept on there still."
I mean, I'm really big into like gun content, and there was a guy after like sometime like it was during that time period where YouTube was really sensitive about a lot of stuff, to the point
Yeah.
where if you just said like any word, really, you could. It's like a 50. Like, if you made a video, it's 50-50 if it's going to be monetized or not, right?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
that's bad. So especially with the gun tube, because it's like at a certain point they were like, you can't show somebody reloading the gun, you can't show the gun firing. And it's like at a certain point, you might as well just not make gun content with all these rules. So the one of the biggest guys, Ethan from Forgotten Weapons, you can't talk right
Oh,
now. Hold
yeah.
on. Ethan from
Weapons,
Forgotten Weapons said, "I'm going to stop using YouTube," and then just started uploading stuff on Pornhub. And then YouTube was like, because he started making some real numbers on there, because he had no competition. It's all porn. So like, you know, so somebody on Pornhub, like right after like doing the do, gets like that post nut clarity, and then looks at like, oh look, gun content, that's kind of cool. So he like got a whole bunch of views on there, and YouTube was like, oh no, please come back, we'll change the rules.
Yeah.
That's that's like a next level
Shit posting.
Yeah.
I swear, like this is why I have a theory that like if you want to get a corporation to change, you need to do something on like okay. So in that instance, that was just him using a different platform, and it worked. But then there was that one I mentioned like 3 podcasts ago, where it was like, you know, when Valve just wouldn't communicate with their players on Dota, so then people started harassing Volvo instead, and that's how they got Valve to actually like, you know, do their thing.
I forgot which game it was. I think it's either like a tabletop game or a video game or something. If you made footage of this, like, if you made, like, gameplay footage of this video game, like, you would just get, like, because one of the problems with YouTube for a really long time was just, like, you could flag content and just completely screw somebody out of, like, money.
I mean, sometimes that's
because you could just as the content owner, you could just flag stuff for no reason and then just get money off of it. Like, people abuse that system. So one guy just found a whole bunch of official content and then pretended to be the company and flagged all of it.
Yeah, that was the thing you could do at the time, yeah.
Well, no, one guy just, like, mass did it and just screwed over this massive corporation. And they're like, oh, what do you... Oh, you mean this was bad? Oh... It's not fun when it happens to us.
Fuck off.
I forgot which one it was, but like if I ever find out what it was, it's really funny. Because all of a sudden, because the other thing too is like if a small content creator gets screwed over like that, it could take like weeks for them to get their shit back, right?
Yeah. All
of a sudden, when the tables have turned, this company like, hey man, like what the hell? Like we want all of our stuff back immediately. Well, no, that's not how the system works. And they're like they wanted special treatment.
Well, yeah, that's how they all. That's like like that's how a lot of companies work. It's like that one time when people were buying stock in GameStop. You know, that like weird like market trade thing, whatever it was called. And then people were making bank off of them, and it fucked them so hard. They were like, "This is illegal." It's like, no, it's not. People can do this. And so people were like buying stock in GameStop, and then on top of that too, like because you had people that were like, you know, I'm lucky to even have like $500 in the bank at any given time. So of course I'm gonna like go out my way to do this. You kidding me?
Well, they saved GameStop from bankruptcy as a goof.
Yeah. God, it's a miracle like GameStop's still even a thing at this point.
But you see, the thing is though, the hilarity that came out of that is that a whole bunch of people who basically just created like a dump fund. Mm-hmm. Some random ass people are like the mass shareholders of that company, which means that they had the power to say, all right, well, GameStop works like this now.
Mm. That's funny.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Like, I just corporations. Like, I'm getting to the point now where it's just like I'm just not even. I mean, maybe ideally I shouldn't be publicly just shitting on them, but it's like, you know, we are like the little people right now. So
Here's the thing. You could say a whole bunch of bad stuff about pretty much anything. The moment that money is involved, all of a sudden they're your friends.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. It's literally like it's from one of the Pink Floyd albums. I think it's
Is it Brick in
Wish
the
You Were
Wall?
Here. No, it's from Wish You Were Here.
Yeah.
The song is called Have a Cigar.
Yeah.
And it's basically every single conversation that they've ever had with a music producer, all combined into one sleazy music producer. Hey there,
Yeah.
kid, have a cigar. You're gonna go far. You're never gonna die. You're gonna make it if they try. You're gonna love you. Did we tell you the name of the game, boys? We call it riding the gravy train. Durno, bro. That's a good song.
Yeah, I guess people can quote us on it if we ever get some kind of deal. Then
No, it's like, that. Man, it's really weird. The moment that the thing that I made a shitload of money, all of a sudden everyone thinks I'm a genius. No,
Yeah.
it's not the case. They want to ride your coattails into success because they can't make things themselves. They just have a lot of money to invest.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's the reality of it. And,
Yeah.
it's another one of the reasons why we wanted to self-publish is because we really don't want to deal with like somebody messing with the vision.
Yeah, we had different plans when it came to like getting this out there, and decided to go indie in the end, which it is what it is right now.
It was not an arbitrary decision.
Yeah.
We had a lot of thought and time put into it because okay, so we're making a comic for English speakers, right? So you have to think about the demographics of the English speaking countries. A lot of people who are in English speaking countries, when it comes to comic books, a good majority of them are Americans, and Americans consume a lot of superhero comics, and that has its own history. I'm not really going to go into that. That would actually be a good episode for another time, is the reason why superhero comics are so big, almost specifically in America.
Yeah.
But where was I going with this? My brain.
Well, we were talking about like going to a company first and like having someone fuck.
So we were thinking about it. It's like, okay, well, see, the messed up thing about publishing that a lot of people don't talk about is like, okay, well, I want to go publish and like have an official publisher, right? The thing is that a lot of the deals that you get from these publishers, you have to put up the upfront money for printing.
Yeah.
And if they decide for some reason that they're not going to do like any type of advertising for the comic, you can just eat the cost of all of those comics that don't sell.
Oh yeah.
And then
Like,
you're also in charge of storing all of the comics that don't sell.
Oh yeah, like not naming names, but like the one company we were eyeing up. I ended up realizing that where it's like if this thing doesn't really like take off, we would be fucked like financially, and it's like I don't want to go fucking poor because this thing didn't take off. So, and it is from a company that's like got a good reputation, but again, if this were to fail, from the beginning, then we're fucked. Basically.
Another messed up thing about publishing that a lot of people don't know, because you would think, once again, you make a thing, you go to a publisher, it gets made, the end of story. No, the other thing that you need to understand is the publisher needs to be in good financial like stability. A lot of comic publishers don't make a lot of money, and you're like, well, these movies are making billions of dollars. Yeah, no. They sold the rights to make these movies for like $20 million back in the 90s. And they don't make the money that the movies are making because they sold the rights to make them.
Well, yeah.
They might get a really small percentage, but it's not enough to keep them from bankruptcy. The thing that blew our minds is just researching how many comic companies are actually almost flat broke. Because and think about this, honestly. as if you're actually listening to any of this, if you're actually listening to any of this, think of this honestly. When was the last time you actually read a new Batman comic? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
You're like, oh yeah, fuck, I haven't. And like, if you multiply that by everybody that you know, you start to realize, man, comics don't really make that much money. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's not great. And funny enough, another company, which I won't name right now, we were actually eyeing up. They went under just before before we made the decision to go indie. A company where we were eyeing up went under.
In fact,
And that meant-
I think we actually started talking to them, and then like, while we started like asking questions and stuff, it's not that they went under. It's that like, they lost a whole bunch of their significant staff, and they had to reorganize.
Yeah.
And you know what's
then
funny too? They had to make an Indiegogo campaign
Yeah.
to sell off a whole bunch of their stock because they couldn't afford the storage space for all of the comics that they had.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I honestly, we were just like, wow, we could have been fucked day one.
oh yeah, like if we actually went with them, like could you imagine signing for something and then like the next day they'd be like, oh yeah, by the way, like we're basically closed until further notice.
Yeah, and it's like, so what happens about like, comic then? Do we still have the rights?
Oh,
Because
and the answer would have been, oh, we don't know ourselves. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
you can't self-publish now that you
own
can't
this
self-publish now that we own like partial rights to this. So yeah,
yeah,
at that point we're like, okay, and once again, us self-publishing isn't an arbitrary decision. We put a lot of thought into this, and for what we're doing, and the Indiegogo campaign, people donated, and we're really grateful. That money will go to very important things.
yeah,
But we didn't make a lot.
yeah. We didn't even get like even a what's the word, like a third or a quarter.
Yeah,
We didn't.
I think we got 1% of the amount of money that we needed to work on this shit. We're still
Yeah, 'cause
gonna
we-
make it because
Oh,
come
yeah.
hell or high water, I'll be damned. I will fucking finish this project.
No, yeah. Even if it takes us like 3 years, we're gonna do it. We are
Yeah.
gonna do this. But yeah,
Yeah,
like honestly, like, and I'm happy that we're doing this. And even if it doesn't take off, it's a stepping stone because we got more ideas after this.
there is something to be said, and you know what? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say I have the moral high ground or like I'm a super genius or something like that, because there's a lot of people that get like a really big stick up their own ass about like how cool they are because they're making something. No, like
Yeah.
we're gonna suck. There might not be some like character arcs that everyone will enjoy. It's about like the journey and actually making something new. We made
yeah.
something new. We made something new. Hopefully people really like it.
Yeah.
We made it. Basically, we made something that we want to see, and if we want to see it, that means somewhere out there are going to be other people who want to see it. Realistically
Yeah,
speaking.
like word of mouth or anything. Yeah.
I would rather have a smaller audience of people who really like what I make than a really massive audience that I have to cater to.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah, I mean, like,
and you know what? Oh, God, I forgot what band it was. It was like Blind Guardian or something like that. They're like it's like a German like metal band. I don't think it's Blind
Right.
Guardian. It's a band that's like them, where they just do like that, like like hair metal stuff, right?
yeah.
There was a band that said, it was some famous person. It was some famous person. They're like, you know that we have more money than like. It's like, I think we have more money than Shakira. Some band,
Oh, really?
some band you've never heard of. They're just like, yeah, we have more money than Shakira. We have more money than like insert person. And somebody's like, how is that even possible? We don't even know who the fuck you are. It's because we produce the music and we sell the music. We make 100% profit off of the music we make.
Oh my god.
So even though we don't sell millions of albums and millions of tickets, we don't have to share that with the record label. We don't have to share that with the producers. We don't have to share that with the distributors. We don't have to share that with like a whole bunch of staff that we don't need. All of the music that we make the money off of that. So even though like, you know, we only made like $8 million, that's $8 million directly to us.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. And you know,
Yeah.
if they're smart with their money, you know, that'll last them for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, here's the thing: like, once we get the first book out there, it's there. Like, it's going to be there to purchase. You know.
I mean, you know, we're going to have to for the distribution of it. You know, we really do want to do it for Amazon, right?
Yes.
And the reason why we want to do Amazon is because, you know, it's a convenience thing, right? I want to, and I can get it on my phone. I can get it on my Kindle. I can get the comic, scroll through it, or you know, you can also just download it on your computer. You have a PDF of it.
Yes.
Right? And, you know, almost everyone in fucking creation uses Amazon. Right?
Yes.
So, yeah, we're going to have to, there is like a fee. I think that what was it? It was like 30% off. So, we get 70% of the profits.
Yes.
And they take 30. It's something like that for digital.
Digital, yeah, which is probably what's going to be first and foremost, yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, eventually we'll have some physical copies on-demand printing style, and then that's 65%, which is not, once again, for, like, printing, and we don't have to pay for any of the actual printing process. That, like, that's not a bad deal. That's better than most publishers give anyone ever.
No kidding.
Most people who work on books, they only get like 5 to 10% of the actual profit of the book. Now, you know, when you sell like 10 million copies, that does end up being a lot of money. But think about the money you could have made if it was a higher percentage and you sold tens of millions of copies, right?
Yeah.
You're like, man, I lost out hard on that deal.
Oh yeah, you know what kind of deal like scares me is, and a lot of people don't do this anymore because they're a lot smarter. There's a type of deal when it comes to your stuff getting adapted, where it's like, okay, you got two options: you can get paid in royalties as this thing like sells, or you can have like a hefty sum up front. The only time people ever do the hefty sum one is if they aren't even confident in their own thing, you know. Because that happened to
or they're in like a really bad financial spot and they need the money like right now.
Oh yeah, like I remember there was a guy who I think he was like a music producer or something where he did something like that, and he went with a hefty sum of money, and then that album like got really popular like 5 years after the fact. He was like, that is one of the biggest regrets of my life. If I went with the other option, I would have been set for life.
You know it's a song that was like that.
What's that?
Just take those old records off the shelf. I said
really?
listen to them. Yeah, like so that song. What was his name? His band was the Silver Bullet Band, but like that guy, so he made that song. He didn't really have the copyright to it, and he thought that the song kind of sucked. But then, you know, it was used in a Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah,
I think it's used in it's used in Risky Business.
Oh,
and then it becomes a huge song, and he got $0 fucking dollars from the popularity of that song.
Yep.
I mean, but here's the other thing too. That song probably wouldn't have been as popular because the reason why it was chosen was because it was really cheap to put in the movie.
I see. Oh, I see.
So like, you know, it being a cheap song he didn't care about got it in the movie, which made it popular to begin with. So it's kind of like a give and take kind of thing. Another example was like, I think it was like Dirty Dancing or something like, I had the time of my life and I never felt it. Like that song. That's a song. They had like, they famously had a box of cassettes of songs where they're like, these are songs that we can get in the movie for like $100. Because we have no budget for music in this movie about music and dancing.
I see. I see.
And they went through all the songs, and they just, I think it's like Tony Bennett or some shit like that. They're just like, hey, this song's kind of good. We can get this song for like $100.
You know, another one that gets me was like I think I might have mentioned before about the author of The Witcher, where he like hates video games. Like he's like the total old man bitter, where it's like he thinks video games are for like big dumb babies, you know.
Yeah.
So he did that thing too. Where it's like I'm just going to take a hefty sum and like fuck off basically.
He sold the rights
And
to
of course-
somebody, and that guy, as long as he's working on it, like he gets to hold on to it for like 10 years or some shit like that.
Yeah.
His company, like they were gonna make it, and if you Google this, it's actually really cool if you care about The Witcher. There's like a PlayStation 2 Witcher game that was like never made,
Oh really?
but like there's still like they still have a lot of the code for it, because a lot of the guys that worked on it also worked at CD Projekt.
No, that's hilarious. Wait, did
So,
we talk
like-
about this last episode?
I think so.
Yeah. We'll probably keep it short then. So.
Well, there's more to
yeah.
that too. There's
Oh really?
yeah, there's more to that. Like, you know what, like CD Projekt actually does as a company?
Isn't like oh yeah wait
They
didn't
make-
they make
they make,
a
like,
GOG?
They make like they make like banking software,
That's funny.
because the red, because they have CD Projekt Gold. They
Yeah.
have CD Projekt Red and they have CD Projekt Blue, and all of those are different divisions of a programming firm.
That's funny. But another thing I do want to mention real quick about The Witcher, since you mentioned like selling the rights to something, the video game version of Geralt, I swear, like I can't imagine that the author has anything to do with that in terms of like money or anything, because the game version of Geralt is in, like, not only is he in his own video game, he's in Soul Calibur, Fortnite, Dead by Daylight, and he even appeared in Monster Hunter at one point. It's like it's become a video game character.
Yep. Well, I mean,
It's like taking a life of its own, honestly.
I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of video games that were based off of things that went absolutely nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Like Soldier of Fortune. When's the last time you've seen a Soldier of Fortune game?
That was a dead friend. I think the last time they were going to make one of those was like a weird cartoon game, and that just like got cancelled silently.
I mean, to be fair, it's based off of a magazine that hired mercenaries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an actual publication where you could get a job blowing people up somewhere else. And it would tell you, like, oh, the newest gun that you can get, like, you know, to travel with. And you're like, oh.
The last Soldier of Fortune game was Payback in 2007. And it was one of those games where it was like so violent that like in Australia they had to like make a version that removed like dismemberment.
Well, a lot of it was based off of, like, actual guys that went out and, like, killed people. Of course, a lot of it is fictionalized. Like, there's no, like, supervillain in a red mask or something. But there's certain parts of, like, Soldiers of Fortune games where you're like, this seems like something that someone actually kind of did.
It felt like it was in
Did you know Bethesda made a game that was like that? They made a game. They made a first-person shooter about, like, a Navy SEAL, but not like his actual memoirs. All of the fake ones he Tom Clancy'd.
Oh, okay.
I need to find that real quick. We're gonna end it on this. Hold on.
How long are we recording for?
Almost, like, I believe more than an hour.
Okay. Let me have a look at my timer. We have been recording for an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, Bethesda. And it's a game that they're trying to bury because, like, the guy is really weird.
Oh.
Because he was a Navy SEAL, but then he got kicked out for some reason. This Rogue Warrior.
Rogue Warrior. Oh, I feel like God, that gives me a weird like Punisher vibe looking at that.
But, like, this is an actual guy. This is an actual guy that exists. But the thing is that they adapted the stories that aren't real.
Oh, into a video game.
Yeah, basically his fake Tom Clancy books. because he made once he was like he got arrested and put in jail and then like a discharge from the military and shit like that. And during that time, he actually wrote a tell-all about what he did. Right, the one book about all of the shit that he did. And when he got out, he started writing more books.
It was just bullshit.
But he's like, here's the thing: he's writing military fiction, but he's the main character.
Oh god,
So
it's like
he
a big
wrote-
ego boost.
So he, instead of writing like James Bond, who's like, he's basically Ian Fleming, but he's a character based off of the writer. No. This guy wrote stories about himself of shit he didn't do. Now, can you guess what this guy's name is?
It has to be either like really generic, like John something, or it's just like Scarlet, like Sasha. Or something like that.
Richard Demo Dick Marcinko, also known as the Rogue Warrior.
This feels like a Mad Lads video that's about to happen. Ready to be uploaded. It's like a fucking Steven Seagal like.
Oh, and it's not a good game either. Like, it's really janky. It barely runs on computers, and when you play it on console, it has a frame rate that's under 25.
I don't suppose this is on Steam because you got me morbidly curious.
It is a Bethesda game.
Let's see, Rogue.
You want to know why this game also didn't really do well?
It is on Steam. Yeah.
Guess why? Guess when it came out?
2009. Oh wait, wasn't that like the war was like in full effect?
That's when Bethesda was making a lot of money on Fallout.
Oh.
See, what they wanted to do was they wanted to have a shooter that was like Tom Clancy, but also they basically wanted a Call of Duty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, who could we base this like Tom Clancy Call of Duty game off of?
Yeah.
And they chose the weirdest guy to do it.
By the way,
I'm not shitting on him. He fucking like, he popped the gritty. He was doing that grind set, whatever.
I'm looking at the Steam page, by the way, and two of the tags are like funny and comedy.
Yes.
I can't. Also, it's only £4, so like this is like cheaper than bread.
I think at that one he's like fighting people in the Soviet Union when he was in the military. The Soviet Union wasn't a thing anymore.
You know what? The reviews are saying it's mixed, but like I kind of want to give this piece of shit a go.
Well, good luck trying to get it to work on computer. You have to do a little bit of space magic in order to get it to work, because you also have to remember it is a Bethesda game.
Yeah, what I'll do if I do buy it, I'll give it a go, and if it's like really unplayable, I'll just quickly refund it before I reach the limit.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You just learned about some weird game about some guy. I think some point in the game, there's like a bioweapon or something that does some goofy shit. And also it has like one of the cool things about it, like programming wise, is that it has like context-based executions. So if you're close to like a ledge and you do like the execution button, like he chucks a guy off a ledge. Or if you're close to a windowsill, he'll like slam a dude's head against the windowsill.
I do like when games do that, yeah. And sometimes it comes off as a surprise too. It's like when I played Yakuza and I threw a guy, but I was on the stairs, so he just like threw him down the stairs.
Okay, I think.
Yeah, I think it's mostly. You just got to do the backgrounds.
I just got to do the backgrounds and the.
You got to change the dwarf's face too.
The action lines.
Yeah, because it looks like she's about to get hit. But it looks like she's about to get hit though.
But once you have the dialogue there.
Oh, you're gonna cover you're gonna use the dialogue to cover her face?
No, once you have the dialogue there, like when it's gonna be like, yeah, no, I think you should stop. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, what are you talking about? They're pointing a thingy at you.
I tell you what though, can you look up just real quick? look at the next page.
You're gonna have to send me that.
I've already sent it. Yeah. Look above Rogue Warrior.
Look above Road Warrior. There's no above.
Yeah.
There's only in it.
There's only down.
The ticket pays for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Yeah. So the next page, she's like clenching her fist, but like, God, you're fine, whatever.
Yeah.
look at the pig on the right.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Right,
fine.
then. But yeah, this is great. So I'm going to start recording then.
Yeah, baby.
There we go. But yeah, that was great. So what I'm probably going to do with the recording